Welcome back to Captain Rook's Reading Corner. We're working our way through Treasure Island. So get yourself a good drink handy and a comfortable spot and settle in to listen. And as I'm reading this, it's about 1 o'clock. So if you haven't had lunch yet, you might want to get a good snack. Chapter 8. What I Heard in the Apple Barrel. Every man on board seemed well content, and never was a ship's company so spoiled. Double grog was often served, and there was plum pudding every few days. Plus, we always had a huge barrel of apples on deck for anyone to help himself. Spoil the hands and you make devils. That's my belief, the captain said to Dr. Livesey. Never knew good come of it yet. But good did come of the apple barrel, as you shall hear. For if it had not been for that, we might have all perished. This was how it came about. It was the last day of our voyage. We were expecting to see Treasure Island late that night or early the next day. The Hispaniola rolled steadily. Everyone was in the bravest spirits because we were now so near an end of the first part of our adventure. Now, just before sundown, when all my work was over, I decided to have an apple. The huge apple barrel was nearly empty, so I just crawled over and into the barrel. I sat right down inside to enjoy an apple. There's a picture of him doing just that. I was so tired that the sound of the waters and the rocking movement of the ship put me nearly to sleep. I was jolted awake when a heavy man sat down close by. The barrel shook as he leaned his shoulders against it. I was just about to jump up when the man began to speak. It was Silver's voice. Before I had heard a dozen words, I would not have shown myself for all the world. Instead, I lay there, trembling and listening. Just from Silver's first few words, I realized that all the honest men on board were in danger. What I heard that night in the apple barrel chilled me to the bone. Long John Silver was telling one of the young sailors, Dick, about his pirating days. Flint was captain, he said. It was on the same plunder that old Pew lost his eyes that I lost this leg. But we got a lot of gold, we did. Ah, cried the young sailor, I hear he was the best, was Flint. Long John Silver went on to brag about his adventures. He said that most of Flint's old men were here, on the Hispaniola. He was trying to get poor Dick to join the pirates. You look here, Silver said. You're young, you are, but you're as smart as paint. I seen that when I set my eyes on you. I'll talk to you like a man. You may imagine how I felt. These were the same words the villain had said to me. You'd make a fine gentleman of fortune, Dick, Silver went on. They lives rough, and they risk hanging from the gallows, but they get gold, they do, pounds and pounds of it. Ah, you may be sure of getting rich on old John's ship. Well, replied Dick, I didn't like the idea till I had this talk with you, John, but here's my hand. And a brave lad you are, answered Silver. They shook hands so heartily that the barrel shook. And a finer gentleman of fortune I never clapped my eyes on. By this time I understood that a gentleman of fortune was just a common pirate. Silver had Dick on his side now. Silver gave a little whistle, and a third man strolled up and sat down. Dick is with us, said Silver. Oh, I know Dick was smart, returned a voice. It was Israel Hands. He's no fool, but when are we going to do him in, Barbecue? Here's the plan, men, said Silver. They've got the map, so we'll let this squire and doctor find the stuff and get it aboard. Then we'll finish with them at the island. But, asked Dick, shouldn't we just leave him on the island? Put him ashore and maroon him, eh? Said the sea-cook rascal, or cut him down. Dead men don't bite, said Israel Hands. Right you are, said Silver. I give my vote. Death. Wait is what I say, but when the time comes, why, let her rip. But I claim Trelawney. He's mine." Then he added in a cheery voice, "Dick, jump up like a sweet lad and get me an apple." Imagine my terror. I heard Dick begin to rise, and then, almost at the same time, the voice of the lookout shouted, "Land ho!" There was a great rush of feet across the deck. I slipped out of that apple barrel and dived behind the foresail. No one had noticed. I ran for the open deck to look for the squire and the doctor. Everyone was staring out to sea. We saw an island with 2 low hills and a third and higher hill. The highest peak was buried in the fog. I heard Captain Smollett giving orders. It all seemed like a foggy dream, for I was still in terror from what I had just overheard. "And now, men," said the captain, "has any one of you ever seen that land ahead?" "I have, sir," said Silver, "when I was a cook for a trader ship. That hill to the north they calls the foremast hill. The far south hill is mizzenmast hill. The highest in the middle they calls Spyglass Hill. There's a harbour just round it with a small island, Skeleton Island they calls it, in the harbour cove." Well, he's not lying. "Thank you, my man," said Captain Smollett. "I'll ask you later on to give us a help. You may go." I was surprised at how coolly John told of the island. A shudder went through when he laid his hand upon my arm. "Ah," says he, "this here is a sweet spot, this island. A sweet spot for a lad to get ashore on. You'll bathe and you'll climb trees and you'll hunt goats, you will. Why, it makes me young again. When you want to do a bit of exploring, you just ask old John, and he'll give you snacks to take along." I found Captain Smollett, the squire, and Dr. Livesey talking together on the quarter-deck. I whispered to the doctor, "Bring the captain and squire down to the cabin. I have terrible news." In the cabin, the squire said, "Now, Hawkins, you have something to say. Speak up." I told the whole details of Silver's plans. Nobody interrupted me. They kept their eyes upon my face from first to last. "Well, gentlemen," said the captain, "we can't turn back. We must keep a bright lookout. The map shows a stockade with a blockhouse near the harbour. We'll hole up there and do our planning. We have the 4 of us, plus Trelawney's home servants, Redruth, Hunter, and Joyce. That makes 7 against their 19. There may be more that come to our side. Jim here," said the doctor, "can help us more than anyone. The men are friendly with him. Jim is a noticing lad." "Hawkins, I put great faith in you," added Squire Trelawney. "Only 7 against 19, and one of these 7 was me, a boy." Here they are, here in Long John Silver's plans. That be it for this chapter, but things are getting real exciting, eh? I'll be seeing you soon for the next.